going on, gang? It is Lieutenant Sal Blue. I'm not outside. It is thunder showering outside. So I've taken this podcast inside today, and it doesn't have the same atmosphere, same ambiance for me, but yet and still the message remains the same, guys. I want to help you guys create the life that you want and continue to achieve the things that you are trying to achieve in your life to make your life better. And so, it is around 8 o'clock for my podcast. I had to do a couple of things before I got started. And so, in doing so, I just wanted to let you guys know I'm still on track to talk about today's message. And today's message is about conviction. So, we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that on today's podcast. And I just wanted to get you guys up to date on what is going on these days with Lieutenant Sal Blue, right? I have my book that I've launched, the Top 25 Mistakes, the second edition. Definitely awesome book, tons of good material to help you guys to move forward, as well as my audiobook. My audiobook is now out and it's on Audible. I'm super excited about that. As I told you guys before, listen, when it comes to the audiobook, I read the book through myself personally, each chapter, ad-libbing here and there on the chapters, but it is me and my genuine voice, and as a reader, I read slow. So I tell you guys, when you listen to the audiobook, make sure you guys put it on 1.5 speed. I felt that 1.5 speed helped me the most to get through the book and still remain engaged with the book and the material, because the material is invaluable. The things that I've learned in my 20 years of law enforcement and the mistakes that I've made, if you guys don't make them, you will have an extraordinary life. So definitely get the book, Top 25 Mistakes You Arrive in a Good Life. It is on Audible, audiobooks.com, and so many other platforms that I can't even name, right? About 30, 40 different platforms that the book is on. As well as, guys, I'm going to be putting the physical copy of my audiobook on my website, lieutenantsalblue.com, so you guys will be able to actually purchase the physical copy. And if you guys purchase the physical copy, it'll definitely be an autographed copy from me personally, Lieutenant Sal Blue. So the physical book is going to be available on my website as well. I will give you guys autographed copies of that. Just give me your name, your email, and I'll figure out how to dedicate that book specifically to you. Let me know. I'm giving out 1,000 copies of that, as well as I'm giving out 1,000 copies of my audiobook. So check me out, guys. Hop on there and get your free copy. Just place shipping, and we will make sure that we get it out to you as soon as possible. So let's get into today's podcast, man. Today's podcast is exciting, and before we get into today's podcast, I just want you guys to know, right? I am under the pressure of, that's Shelby, by the way, barking, because she wants to go out. But I'm under the pressure of get this podcast done, because I still have more work to do for my wife upstairs in the bedroom. So you guys take that any way you want, but my wife is requesting my presence ASAP. So we're going to get this done, guys. So let's do it. What's up, gang? How you guys doing? It is Lieutenant Sal Blue, 28-year law enforcement veteran and the author of the Top 25 Mistakes in Route to the Good Life, coming at you today with episode 64 of my daily podcast. That's right. And today, guys, we are not messing around, man. We are getting right into it, right into the thick of it, and we are talking about convictions. What are your convictions, guys? What is it, right? What are the things that someone else put in your mind that you have held true all these years? That's right, we are talking about convictions. Convictions shape and mold your life, man. They shape and mold your friendships, your relationships, and everything else that you can name. It is your convictions that determine how your life is going to turn out. Listen, even your convictions determine your friendships, how your friendships are going to turn out, guys. So understand this, man. Your convictions are going to shape and mold your life. So my mentor scooped me up and he grabbed me up and he asked me these questions, right? And these questions began to work on the beliefs that I developed in my life and who placed these beliefs in my mind from my past. So, listen, you guys know the deal in my house, right? My house is full of people, right? Full of people always talking with no regard for the fact that I'm doing a podcast or recording. And that's just the life that I live, guys. But in doing that, I want you guys to know, right? Filter out all of that background noise and listen to the message that I'm giving you, because the message that I'm giving you comes from experience and it is extremely powerful to help you develop the life that you want. So understand, right? The message is what's important, right? The message is what's important. And I tell people all the time, it doesn't matter how you receive the message, right? If the message is valuable to you, then guess what? Use that message to your benefit to help you to create the life that you want, right? As Abraham Lincoln said, you can learn from anybody. You can learn from anybody. Most of the time, it is what not to do. And so, in giving you guys my top 25 mistakes, these are things what not to do. So listen to Abraham Lincoln, man. I'm telling you exactly what not to do, how not to head down the path we call the bad life. And so that starts with your convictions. The convictions shape and mold you, guys. I'm sipping a nice cup of Colombian coffee brew that my wife brewed up for me, and it's delicious. And so I just want to thank you, sweetheart, for giving me a nice cup of coffee and getting me going to get out here and create this podcast for all of these people out here today. So your convictions. What are my convictions? That is one of the questions that my mentor wrote down and told me to ask myself, and gave me plenty of time to write it down. So in doing so, I wrote a note to myself. I said, I have noticed over the years, as strong as my convictions were from my past, many facts have come along that disprove them. Right? Disprove my convictions. Now, just that sentence alone, I just want to say something about that sentence alone. If you are the type of person that your convictions are so strong that even though facts come along, you don't want to believe them, even though they're facts, I'm telling you guys, right? I'm telling you guys, this is troubling times for you, right? When you can't believe facts because your convictions are so strong that they stop you from believing what is true and what is not true, right? Now, I'm going to continue on. This is one of those moments where you will have to fight against your natural tendency to ignore convictions that we believe should not be challenged. Should not be challenged, right? There are several convictions that I came about in my life that I felt should not be challenged. And I had a hard time going against what my mentor was saying in order to fight against those convictions. It was very hard for me. One of those things was religion. Religion was very difficult when it came to fighting against convictions. Listen, what was told to me by my parents and the fear that was taught to me by the pastors and everybody else in my religion stopped me from questioning my convictions I had on my religion.